Well, good evening. Good evening. My name is Andy Bound, and I'm Associate Vice President for College Advancement here at Grand Rapids Community College and also the Executive Director of the GRCC Foundation. And on behalf of the faculty and staff, students here at Grand Rapids Community College, thank you for joining us this evening. We have a number of distinguished guests with us this evening. For instance, our Board of Trustees, our elected body that oversee and provide leadership for the college. Trustees, would you raise your hand? And there we go. Thank you for your service. And also to the GRCC Foundation Board, I know we have a number of directors here. If you would also, thank you. Your work on behalf of students is greatly, greatly appreciated. I also would like to recognize Karen Ender. Karen? And Steve, President Ender, would love to be with us this evening, but he's been called to Iowa with a meeting of community college leaders from across the country. And so I know he deeply wanted to be here, but he still hasn't figured out how to be in 10 places at once. So he's working on it, I know. To all of you, I mean, not only is this a night to celebrate our students and our faculty, but it's a night to celebrate you, our partners and donors in this process. Tonight is, and we'll say this many times, a dream come true. And I'd like to thank our donors. Leading us off with the Peter Secchia family, Peter and Joan, thank you very much. Garrett's Appliance, where are you at? Bruce, there you are. Bruce, thank you. Also Sub-Zero and Wolf. Stan Chef. Tasters Guild, I know, where is Joe at? There we go. Joe, thank you. Barb, thank you. The Banffy Vintners Foundation has been a partner with us in this process. Granite Transformations and Greg and Barry DeWitt. And our long-term partners in this space, in the Wisner-Bottrell Applied Technology Center, Tom and Joyce Wisner, and David and Michelle Bottrell. Thank you. And there are 60-plus donors as well, many of you in this room who have helped make this space become reality. You see, this dream began in the late 1980s. As this building was being designed, as I understand it, there were plans to put in a culinary amphitheater in this building. But budget conditions being what they are and so forth, you make decisions about what stays and maybe what doesn't stay in a building. And in the end of the building and creation of this building, there wasn't an amphitheater in it. So our faculty have been dreaming for 20 plus years about a culinary amphitheater, a place that they could call home in addition to the incredible kitchen and teaching space, but to have a space that engages students and learners has been a dream for many, many years. We've had great partners in this process, and I'd like to take a moment to thank our A&E firm, SHW. Thank you. It's great when functionality and beauty come together. And then also Nugent Builders have done the construction work, and I think between design and construction, you'll agree with me, it's incredible space. We're here to celebrate a dream come true. And now it's my privilege to introduce to you our program director, Dan Gendler.
Thank you, Andy. You know, the first year as a program director has been eye-opening, and as going from academic side to administration, it has been fun as well as challenging. But I really need to thank Andy. This room, his partnership with our program has been invaluable, and we really could not have done it without him coming forward and helping us. So thank you, Andy. Another gentleman Another gentleman who couldn't be here tonight, which is unfortunate, is Mike Kidder, operations manager. He had a family obligation, and I really wish he could have been here to see this. He has poured his heart and soul into this room all summer long, and he was pretty much the go-between between architectural and facilities and signage and you name it, to make sure that this room fit and made the fit what we needed, the use exactly right, and he has done an amazing job. So thank you to Mike Kidder. We have several students and faculty in the room. Thank you for attending. There were still classes going on, so we couldn't all be here, but for those of you that are here, thank you. And the advisory committee folks, thank you very much for coming and taking part in this celebration. This room, I want to just talk briefly about what this room is. Why is it here? Why is it so important? It is primarily a classroom. You'll see the white boards. And if you can imagine a chef here teaching with a camera coming over the head to show the students exactly what they need to see as they're turning a mushroom or turning a potato or breaking down a tenderloin, as well as coming in and looking at seeing the chef this way in an intimate space. I mean, you can see that even though there's 55 to 60 people here, even in the back row, it's intimate. I can see you, you can see me, we can see what's going on, and these computer-controlled cameras can zoom in on exactly what's going on. Absolutely phenomenal from a teaching standpoint, and that's the primary purpose of this. If you can imagine a wine tasting class in here, a beverage cocktail class, a purchasing class where they're doing a yield test and a tenderloin on this board, everything around that. And if it's an 18 or 24 intimate class, they can come right up to the counter and have that experience. We're tactile folks. We like to touch, feel, taste, and do those kind of things, and this room lends itself to that. It's not just a lecture hall. Once they have observed what's going on, they can come back here and they can partake and get involved in exactly what the chef is showing. So from an entertainment and from an educational standpoint, it's phenomenal. From an entertainment standpoint, we'll be able to do some shows in here. We'll have guest chefs in here. I have, if you've ever heard of Chef Jeff Henderson, he is a success story that started as a drug dealer and was in prison, relearned the craft, and now has his own catering business, his own talks. He's been on Oprah, has done amazing things. He's coming here November 8th, and we're going to try to link this with the banquet rooms and have all the students that we possibly can see him perform. And we'll do tastings. And we've got actually 4 chefs like that scheduled for this fall already. So that's phenomenal. Chef Nicola Conte from Scotland, Chef Freddie from Bahamas, Chef from GFS who does countrywide tours and trends presentations. They're all going to be in this room showing their craft and their expertise in their areas to our students. And not just one classroom. We're going to have dozens and dozens of students watching these folks. And then from a purely fun aspect, our GRCC Cook Seminars, some of those will be right here, where we can actually invite the public, the community in this space, have them partake and enjoy the room while they're learning from local chefs. So it is a multifaceted room that we're just extremely, as you can see, I'm passionate and excited about it and really want this to happen. So the other thing, obviously besides the functionality, is it keeps us among the best programs in the country. There are programs across the country that have had amphitheaters before us, and this is one piece that we really needed to keep us at the top, and now we are. I have seen many, many of these types of theaters, and Bob Garlow was talking to me about the Greystone Theater in California, and this one is no less than any of those. It is the best of the best, and we're very proud of that. So thank you to Andy, thank you to the staff, thank you to administration for allowing us to do this. It's truly remarkable. At this time, I would like to invite Bob Garlow, one of our past directors. He was here for nearly 30 years, and Randy Sahidak. Where'd Randy go? There he is, to kind of join me while they walk up to the top of the theater, and we're going to unveil this name. At this time, in honor of some of our donors and Peter Secchia's grandparents, we'd like to announce the name that is the Pietro and Regina Amphitheatre. You know, we've had a wonderful partner and friend and supporter in Peter and Joan Secchia. They have been just a fan of our program, a fan of our students and what we do here for many, many years, and we appreciate it immensely. We had the pleasure to watch them be judges at our Iron Chef competition at the Cascade Foundation just on Tuesday this week. And it's great input. It's great to see the students with him and see that support. So we thank Peter and Joan. And it is now my pleasure to please introduce and call Peter to the front here if he's willing and able. I know that. What we'd like to do, I'm going to have Chef Gilles pull a ribbon, and if you don't want to come down, I totally understand. Sorry about that. So Chef Gilles and his team are going to begin to pull an actual sugar ribbon. We thought it would be very appropriate to have a ribbon cutting to have this process complete and dedicate the room. While Chef Gilles is pulling the ribbon, we can have Peter Secchia do some, while Gilles is doing that, we'll have Peter, you'll do some talk, because I know you want to talk about where the room name comes from, your grandparents, and the culture behind that.
I'll do that right now?
Yeah, you can talk now.
I'll watch you. Maybe before you do that,
Yeah.
like every good student and good apprentice, I need to have you try to cut the ribbon first. So when you cut the good one, it's going to be cut just perfectly. You agree with that?
I have never really been able to understand French chefs when they talk. But I will do whatever he tells me to do. We are going to do this, we are going to do that. I don't know what we're going to do.
Last year, Peter, when we met again, we hadn't seen each other for about 20 years. I met Peter in 1984 when I first started at the Amway Grand Plaza, but that's for another day. But anyway, Peter told me, "Wow, your English is so much better." Thank you.
It had to get better, believe me. All right.
So we're going to start. I'm going to show you what you're going to be doing once the whole ribbon is done. Right? We have one shot at cutting the ribbon, so I thought I would give you an opportunity to do a few tries because it's not that obvious. All right? So to cut the ribbon, you're going to see you have a new appreciation for pastry chef in a second. We heat up the knife, right? Heat up the knife, and then after the knife is heated, we are going to want to get the chill out of it. If you go like this, you burn your knife. So if you go like that, you heat up the knife. And you heat up on the thick side, so this way it carries the heat, you see? Heat up a bit too cold. Right?
You speak very well.
Thank you very much.
I don't want to make any more enemies there.
You just press gently.
Ah.
Just the weight of the knife is enough, all right?
See.
You see? Don't, if you press too hard,
Okay.
it's going to shatter.
All right. This is candy, sugar.
So then I wipe the knife on the wet towel. Now the knife is going to be ready in a second. Okay, good. So we are going to do that. Now you can talk. It's your turn to speak.
Okay, good. This is a great introduction. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been trained. I'm very proud of this group of young people, old people. My God, the lady waited on us the other night at your event at Cascade. She was a student here, and she's starting a new career. And I just met this gentleman from Michigan State who's starting his third career here. So I'm wondering what's going to happen next. So Gilles has been here since Christ was on the cross. So I know him from when we opened the right after we opened the hotel. But I had to give a name because the name that I came up with, even I was sick of the Secchia name. You couldn't have the Secchia room in the Secchia Institute, so we scrapped that. And we were going to name it after my grandfather, and that didn't work because we have a restaurant, and you didn't want to tie it into one restaurant. So we came up with Pietro and Regina. And so Steve Ender comes up to me the other night and says, well, what the hell took you so long to make your name, come up with your name? Why did you keep changing it? Well, I had prepared to talk to him, and then he canceled the meeting. And so I wanted to say, well, wait a minute, you canceled the meeting. But we did come up with this, and the staff got it changed and put it up. And my grandparents came over here in the early 1900s, and they cooked. They raised fruit. They cooked vegetables. And they were really particular how they cooked and what you ate and when you ate it. And they were just wonderful people. I love them dearly. And I've often thought of them. When my grandpa died, Pietro died, I was holding his hand, and he said, "Don't ever forget me." And I promised him I wouldn't. So we went through the cycle with the restaurants and all the family pictures on the wall. And now we have the room named in their honor. So I'm very proud of all these students and really honored to be celebrating that the Pietro and Regina are still alive and their spirit is in this room. And if you students can cook as good as they could, we're going to hit a home run.
All right, Gilles is going to take 2 minutes and pull this ribbon. He promised me it's going to be 2 minutes. So this is going to be, I'm not going to time you, but I figure I might as well show the folks the capabilities of the room. Or not. I know it.
Zoom it.
Because that's one thing, is we are going to have to learn the new technology and
You get the chef to stand away from
the mechanism, right? There we go. All right.
You cook it to 153 Celsius because that's the way I learned it, and I'm too lazy to transfer it into Fahrenheit. Students, ready? Your hand. Quick. Jacinda, where are you? Okay, so you're going to help me to stretch. Okay, slide your hand. Slide your hand. Okay, don't move too much. Yeah, come on. Come on. Don't press too much. Don't press too much.
Could you do that in green and white instead of maize and
Okay, Peter, we need to heat up the knife. Stay where you are. You're dangerous with the knife.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Oh, we have time for 20.
You could buy the thick part so you get
Wait a minute. You got to wait for that part, right? Wait a second. Go by yourself. Like this. The thick part, right? You said the thick part? Yep. Angus said the thick part. Whatever you say. 2 minutes enough. Let me check. Make sure it's hot enough. Go ahead. You're ready.
Where do I cut it? Right here?
Right there. Right on your board.
Gentle pressure.
Gently.
Gently pressuring. And here we go.
Peter and Joan, thank you again for making this space possible. We appreciate your involvement. Everyone enjoy the few minutes that we have left with more cake, more punch, what we can. And thank you so much for coming, and thank you for your support. Have a great evening.